2 hours after setting up my camera equipment, I am finally getting to record this video. It's been a morning, guys. That's all I gotta say about that. Hey folks, and welcome to my channel, theJunieBird. I make videos about everything from entertainment to growing up. If that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and subscribe and join us down in the comments as well. The folks that comment down below are definitely some of my all-time favorite people, and not just because they're commenting, but also because they make me think about things from a different perspective, and that's something that I love to do, something that I often try to do and try to have you guys do in some of my videos. So it is no secret that I am a massive fangirl. I try not to make it a secret that I am also a Christian, and today we're going to talk a little bit about both of those things at the same time. We're going to talk about how the early church, early Christianity, especially the church started by Paul and the Apostles, was kind of like the very first fandom. So there are going to be a fair number of biblical references in this, along with the references to fandom. Just heads up on that. I'm absolutely not offended if you choose not to watch this video. I totally understand that it's not everybody's thing. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the idea of canon. Within fandom and fiction, canon is the original story, or kind of the official storyline that is presented in whatever medium the story is being told in. TV show, movie, book series, whatever the case may be. If it is in canon, then it is a part of the original source material, as opposed to being fanon or fan fiction, which is unofficial material created most often by fans of the series. In a biblical context, canon refers to biblical canon. And this is actually the first use of the word canon. It's kind of one of the things that got me thinking about making this video to begin with. Biblical canon is the books of the Bible that are considered divinely inspired. This would be all of the books in the Bible, but there is some disagreement on which books those are between different denominations of Christianity and of religion in general. Obviously, the Jewish Bible, the Torah, is very different from the Christian Bible, but even within Christianity, the Catholic Bible is different from a Protestant Bible, is different from an Orthodox Bible. At least I think. Some of those I'm very sure about, some of those I'm less sure about. Second thing we're going to talk a little bit about is naming fandoms. So in the fan community and the fan world, you get ideas like Whovians are fans of Doctor Who, Sherlockians are fans of the BBC Sherlock and of other Sherlock Holmes franchises. People who identify as a part of a specific fandom often identify with the name of the fandom as a whole. On the Christianity side of this, Christian in and of itself is kind of the name of a fandom. There's disagreement on this, once again, over what exactly Christian means and what is the derivative of the word, but depending on who you're talking to and what you are believing about the language, Christian means either follower of Christ, in the household of Christ, it could mean soldier of Christ, or even little Christ. This is most likely a name that was given to the early church and is not a name that they chose for themselves. Whereas more common in fandom, modern fandom that is, the names are chosen by the people who are a part of the fandom. At least I think. I could be wrong about that. It might depend on the fandom as well. So the last thing that we're going to talk a little bit about in this video is symbolism. So in fandom, symbolism is like a symbol that the fandom or the community will use to refer to themselves. Sometimes it's a gesture, sometimes it's like a visual symbol. And this is stuff like the DFTBA sign for Nerd Criteria. This is stuff like the Deathly Hallows symbol. If you see someone wearing Deathly Hallows symbol on a piece of clothing, as a piece of jewelry, or even as a tattoo, there are lots of people who have Deathly Hallows tattoos. They're probably Harry Potter fans. They're not just randomly gonna get that like very symbolic image tattooed onto your body. You probably are a huge Harry Potter fan. On the other side of that, obviously the modern symbol of Christianity is the cross, but before that, the symbol for Christianity was actually a fish. There are a couple reasons for this. One is that a lot of the early Christians, first disciples and first Christians, were fishermen, so they kind of took that on as a symbol. It was also done because it was a symbol that could be created very subtly. So if you were standing two people having a conversation, people would often make the one arch of the fish symbol, so like one side of that, with their foot, and they were in mostly in places where you don't necessarily have paved roads. That's going to be a little bit easier. And then if the person that they were talking to was also a Christian and noticed this, they would make the other side of that fish. So you get both arches, create the symbol of a fish, and then you know two people who are talking are definitely Christians, and then you can go carry on your conversation with that in mind. Honestly, I don't really have a question to end this video with. This isn't really a question-y kind of video, but I really do want to know if you guys enjoyed this video, if you found it to be interesting. Obviously, I find this stuff fascinating because I am both a fangirl and a Christian. And I am interested in making more content like this. I might just do it anyway, but I would love to know if you guys are actually interested in that. And if you guys have any questions for me about my faith or just about my life in general, feel free to ask me. I always want to try and be as honest with you guys as possible, and if there are any questions, I would love to be able to answer them. I think that's all I've got. I will see you guys next time.